Okay, here we go. Oops. Okay, this is going to cause a little glitch in the video when I turn this on. I was sitting here just going through some breeze happening. Let's see if I've got audio going good. Tony says AV good, DVR, and I'm going to listen to it myself. Let's see if I've got audio. Yeah, there I heard audio, so that's working. Good morning. August 9th, 2022 on a Tuesday morning, 9:06 a.m. And today's title here, Windows, whoops, hit the wrong button there. Windows Daily 30 Basic Virus Remediation. Some people over here saying hello to each other in the chat room already. Tony Wallow with $1.99. He says, good game, too short. He was referring to the Fortnite stream this morning where our intention was for me to start helping Josh Kinder learn Fortnite. Unfortunately, we got interrupted by other demands on Josh's time. And that's no problem. Things happen. So I sent an email back to Josh asking if 1 p.m. his time would work today. So that's a little less than an hour from now that we're going to try again if he's available. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much his morning plans have changed. So yeah, $1.99 from Tony. Thank you so much. People saying hello to each other, saying hello to me, catching up with each other, checking in and seeing how each other are. Ken Stout says pouring sheets of rain. Do you buy those in reams like printer paper to buy sheets of rain in a ream? Buy a ream of rain? Ream of rain? Can you do that? Is that a thing? That you could use some rain. Then let's see. I swear there was less minutes on the timer when I went down to second. I'm not sure what that was referring to. Lawn Dog saying, seeing a delay. What I'm seeing is a delay in your video. The voices come through first. You're out of sync. Normally it's not an issue, but it's noticeable. Interesting. Does anybody else report that sound and video is out of sync? Zavi says sound and video okay. So I'm going to move on to my updates for yesterday's live stream video. That was troubleshooting of live stream video anomaly. Can you say live stream video 3 times real fast? In the chat room, there was another $1.99 from Tony again for referring to the Fortnite game. Of course, thank you. And Ken saying good morning. I don't think there was anything in here specific to the topic. Notifications, comment, and yeah, nothing in there specific to the topic. And in the comments on yesterday's video, Parker Morse provided this link. I went and looked at it. And what it explains is that when Stream Deck launches, it automatically updates all add-ins. You can click down here to let's see, turn that picture, quit Stream Deck, and then relaunch Stream Deck. That'll be another force update. And there was another piece in there that said that there's a place within Stream Deck where you can click to update. When I went there, that wasn't there. So I'm assuming those instructions were for a previous version. All right, now let's move back to today's topic, Windows Daily 30 Basic Virus Remediation. This has to do with a client. Well, okay, sort of a client. She's been on my live Windows training videos before. She's been on camera with me. When she's on camera with me and in Zoom, I don't charge her for those sessions at all. In these, when I don't make any video out of my work with her, then she's charged normal rates. When I'm doing a partial, like I'm doing here, I'll give her a discounted rate. So these videos here, we're not going to watch all of them. We're going to scrubbed through some of them. Not 10 seconds at a time. I just got a chuckle out of Ken Stout, I think. So let's go take a look at that. She contacted me with a virus problem. Now we're hearing the audio a little bit. She was on the cell phone with me, and XSplit kind of treated that as background noise, or her voice doesn't come through very well. I'm not going to have the audio on all the time. Some of this I'm going to narrate through. So she's highlighted on an email about McAfee, and over here on the right, this is what she's concerned about. Let's turn that off. Your computer is infected. Warning, we found virus on your computer. Scan your computer to remove them. Antivirus update required. Now this is a little strange graphic here. It kind of looks like this graphic might be partially covered by this message here. Her daughter took a look at it and said, that's a scam. Her daughter's kind of, I think, maybe run out of patience with her mom, so she called me about this. I'm going to go ahead and play some of this video here. This warning, we found a virus on your computer. Antivirus update required. Click here to scan. Yeah, this looks like a scam. Let's get a confirmation. Are you hearing that? I'll unmute here. To scan. Yeah, this looks like a scam. Yes, that is coming through. So here I'm back on the video and clicking to play. It probably came up because of, this email that you are displaying, which is not actually from McAfee. See this? This email address here is coming from servemymail.com. That is not McAfee. So because when you clicked on that, that's what probably prompted this message. Okay, so I paused the video there, and now I'm going to explain some other things that eventually come out during our conversation, but will take too long to actually let it play through. Just moving my picture in picture. I pointed out to her, you saw me moving the mouse around this email address that supposedly is from McAfee Service Desk, but the email address shown here, it says at servemymail.com. Definitely not McAfee. Over here in this message window, down in this black area, there's a part that says, that says qty8pi.system-protects.com. That looks totally bogus. There's an attempt at a McAfee shield up here. And this is just all bogus. Most of you would recognize that as just scam. But it didn't come up based upon her clicking on that email there, because she explained to me that this keeps coming up about every 15 minutes, no matter what she's doing. Now, I'm not convinced that it's no matter what she's doing, because most of what she's doing is with web browsers open. So I think it's probably has to do with web browsers. She's using Google Chrome here. I'm going to take a quick look at chat and see if you're warning me about anything that's not working right on the video. Ken, it's a bit low. Yes, here it's 7 seconds ago. Not so intuitive anymore. A lot of guesswork involved. One of the things I think Microsoft screwed up Windows 10 11 is how Defender works. Very confusing, not easy to decipher what to do when something comes up. So I'm going to be doing a Windows Defender here work with this computer. I'm going to scrub forward by dragging the pointer forward. Oh, by the way, some of you may remember seeing Marge. This is Marge in the blue shirt, obviously with her family here. And then scrubbing forward. So I go into add, the programs and features. I get there with Windows key R, appwiz.cpl, my favorite way to get there. And I want to evaluate all of the items in here, see if there's anything installed. So currently I have them sorted by date. You can tell that by this V, this upside down caret symbol here on the installed on date column, so that the most recently installed things are at the top. There's Microsoft Edge, Web Advisor by McAfee, and McAfee Total Protection. She tells me during the phone conversation that her antivirus is Norton antivirus. Well, there's no Norton antivirus in this list. I did not address that issue with her. She's elderly. She kind of has her beliefs about her computer locked in to the past. I imagine that she had Norton antivirus in the past. She doesn't have it now. Wasn't really concerned about straightening her out on that. And this is perhaps a tip when you're dealing with, it's not always elderly, because a lot of us in this community are elderly, but we're a little more technically adept, and remembering technical things aren't such a challenge. But for instance, later on in the day, and you're not going to see this, she wants some help with Microsoft Word. Well, here's Microsoft Word down here. She didn't even know that that's a way that she could launch it. She wasn't really clear on how to launch Microsoft Word. So I don't try to teach her things. I just try to get her on to the next thing that she wants to do. So what I do is I uninstall both of those. And then we also see a Wave browser here. And she has no recollection of what that is. Now, she does say that her kids, her adult kids, sometimes come to her house and install things that they want. And I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and uninstall them to simplify your computer, because I'm not that familiar with Wave browser, and I want to eliminate the number of potentially unknown items. Let's see, we sort this alphabetically, I think, a little bit later. So we'll talk more about these things that are installed. Yeah, here's alphabetical. And let's get back a little bit. That's the top. No, that's not alphabetical. That looks alphabetical. But anyway, there's McAfee. There's Microsoft stuff. There's Mozilla. So when we got to Mozilla, I said, well, you don't use Mozilla browser, do you? I almost went to install that. But she reminded me she does use Mozilla Thunderbird for her email. So we kept that. Real text and audio driver, when we saw that, she said, I don't know what that is. You can get rid of it. I said, no, we need to keep that. That's for your sound. Roots Magic is for her genealogy work. Smart drivers and devices. I think I wound up uninstalling that. I've seen that around enough. I think it's okay, but we don't need that on her computer. The Wave browser, I think, uninstalled. Web Advisor by McAfee uninstalled. Kept Windows PC check and kept Zoom. And then I'll move forward. See what else to remind of. Okay, so here's uninstalling this McAfee Advisor. That very likely is legitimately McAfee, but because it's a free version, it's going to be, trying to get her to do the paid version. Maybe, I suspect it may have some vulnerabilities to, for the bad actors on the internet to be able to pop up these scam advertisements. I don't know that for sure, but we don't need McAfee on it. We identify more than 2,500 sites every day that can threaten your online safety. That can threaten. Well, 2,500 new websites per day, any of them can threaten. So where do they get that number from? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of any of the free antivirus products. So here we're uninstalling that. I'm going to scrub forward. I'm not going to go through detail on a lot of this stuff. You see software removed, restarting the computer, and then I get connected to it again and scrolling forward. And now at this point, I think I don't have her on the phone anymore, and I'm just wanting to let it sit on the internet. Well, I get to that point eventually. It looks like I'm going to, I haven't uninstalled everything yet. So here's more uninstalls happening. You don't need to see the detail about each one of them. You know how to uninstall software. But basically what I'm saying in the title of this video is basic virus remediation. Get rid of the things you don't need, particularly the free antivirus stuff. Simplify the machine. Try to understand everything that is installed there. Now, if there's something you find on the installed list that you don't recognize, before uninstalling it, especially if it's not your computer, you might want to do a little research, because it might be a name that you and the person you're working with don't recognize, but it might be needed. So now I have uninstalled all of that extra stuff, and now I'm going in to look at Windows Defender, and I see here that it wants to load updates. It's showing an X here indicating that engine unavailable. So that's a bit alarming, and I suspect that may have had to do with whatever set of circumstances led up to the condition that our computer's in right now. So I'm going to go ahead and click play here, but
Virus
mute
and
the audio.
Protection engine unavailable.
Yeah, so I'm just reading that. So I clicked on it, and it loads the updates, and it becomes available. And then down here on this app browser control, I'm going to advance the video forward a little bit here by an undisclosed amount of time. And there is the turning on the app and browser control. I do like that. I was at first, when it first showed up, I was concerned about it. Is it going to block too much? Is it going to have false positives? I haven't found that to be the case. So I pretty routinely turn on that extra level of browsing protection. And then I go in here and start a quick scan. This quick scan starts incrementing up, showing its estimated time, and that keeps advancing. So I'm going to advance the video through here a little bit at a time. And while doing that, oh, she made a comment about how many files that was showing that it was scanning. She thought that was a lot of files. I didn't know I had that many files on my computer. I tried to delete them, and I give her a warning here. You should not be deleting files that you don't know what they are. There's a lot of files here that your computer uses that are needed. And so I do I clicked on the C drive here, and I did a Control-A to select all of these folders. So it accumulates a number of files and folders, and I showed her there's 425,456 files. I'm not sure if that count was finished. Yeah, it's still going up. The threat service has stopped. Restart it now. So I'm restarting the threat service. That was a little alarming that stopped. Although I thought at the time that it might have stopped because of something that I was doing. So I just started again, and we're going to let this run. So I'm going to advance through this video. Do you see the graph, that blue line up there that's going across? And I've actually turned off my picture-in-picture that was in the bottom right because I've walked away from my computer at this time. So I'm going to scrub forward, pull the playhead forward. I think we're going to get all the way to the end. Okay, so there's where it finished. Now, this is funny. Here it's showing 33 seconds time remaining. So the highest time that it got up to was there at 5 minutes, 54 seconds. And then very quickly, that time estimate goes down. There's 6 minutes, 6:01. Do a right arrow. And now it's gone down to 45 and 44 seconds time remaining. So it jumped down. And then when we get to the end here, it says as the quick scan is done, and it lasted 55 seconds. That's not true at all. It lasted far more than 55 seconds. So that was weird. But it just doesn't all work right. Now here I'm making some comments, I think, to the audience, meaning you. So I'm going to unmute here. So that scan claims that lasted 55 seconds. That's not true at all. I'm just going to let the computer sit now and see if that trouble comes up. That notification. Okay, now I'm going to scrub out to the end. So I bring up the web browser, and I just walk away from the computer and leave it running. I ended the video. Let's see, time predictions. No warnings here about troubles with audio or video. So then going on to that second video, I'm not going to spend as much time on these. Let's see, what is this guy saying here? Start the recording immediately after ending the prior recording. I'm just going to let it sit now and see if we get any Yeah, that's all what I already told the audience. Why are you boring them with that again? So scrub all the way through this. This goes on for 30 minutes. And it just sits there, nothing goes wrong. So then come back to the next video. Does that guy show up again on screen? Oh, he does.
Look at where this is at.
What's he saying?
Taking a look at where this is at now. There's no virus warning messages that have come up. Those things down. Now it might be come up. Auto runs. Yeah, I don't have auto runs already.
Yes. Okay. So here's where I'm going. I've muted his audio. And I'm going to scrub through this. So I go into google.com and then just do a search for auto runs. And I'm downloading just auto runs, not the entire sysinternals package, because all I'm interested here is auto runs. So it downloads up here. Then I go open the folder, and I wind up creating the SW setup folder. I've told you before, I like to have that on the C drive because I always know to go look for that. And then I extract the auto runs program into that SW setup folder and launch it from there. So this, since I've cleaned up all the programs that are installed. I've run the scan from Windows Defender. Now I'm going to launch auto run 64. I'm advancing forward and get up here to, let's see, I'm pausing this now. Go to the options menu and then scan options. So I'm going to play the video. You're going to see me select scan options and ask it to check with virus total for all of these things that are automatically running. This includes browser helper objects, things that load with browsers. So here I click on that checkvirustotal.com. All right, I'll go back a little bit and pause it there. Yeah. So by default, there's no check mark here for checkvirustotal.com. There is by default a check mark for verified code signatures. And that's where you see these words verified. So the code, the signature verification, those are all verified. So I put a check mark in checkvirustotal.com, and auto runs will go check all of these auto running components to see if any of the virus engines detect them as viruses. I'm letting it do that in Microsoft Edge. I remove the check mark to use this browser every time because I don't want to change her default browser. It pops, this is weird, and this has thrown me a couple times, including this time. It pops up this terms of service. There's nothing to click on. There's no button in here to click on. Nothing. And what happens is once you close this window, you get a window that lets you click to approve the terms of service. So that other Doug is yakking away in the bottom right corner. Come on, get on with it. I'm going to advance forward a little bit. And we missed that confirmation window. I'm going to back up to get it. There it is. It says you must agree to VirusTotal's terms of service to use VirusTotal features. So I could have closed that terms of service right away and just clicked yes here. So I click yes here, and now we see hash submitted. We'll see other things populating here as it's working on it. We see 0 of 74, 0 of 74. Most of these items show up as 0 of 74. 3 of the items wind up showing as 1 of 74. That means one virus vendor, antivirus vendor out of 74 thinks that this is a bad element. So I wind up looking closer at each of those, deciding that I'm not too concerned about it. I think that particular antivirus vendor, which I think there were actually 2 of them among these three that get detected. There's that one up there, and then there's going to be more down here that haven't shown up yet. I think they are very aggressive at privacy protections. So I think they're reporting those elements as privacy concerns to them. So see here, 1 of 74, those are Google Update. Google Update, one of those antivirus vendors is complaining about that. That's probably due to privacy concerns. So I wind up clicking on those to go look at the detail of them. I'm going to try to scroll forward to it. So this is a good report. I'm feeling good at this point in time that we don't have any real serious infection here. See, am I clicking on that? Yeah, then I'm going to remove this, always use this app check mark, and it's going to use Edge. And then it goes and tells me over here that it's Secure Age Apex is the one that reports this item as malicious. But all these others are okay with it. Bitdefender is okay with it. If you scroll down that window, you see all the rest of the 74 antivirus vendors that have no problem with this item. So then here I'm going to look at the next one, and this was also Secure Age Apex, and I'm concluding, it's probably just because they're very conservative with privacy. Then I go look at this one up here, and it's a different antivirus vendor. Again, remove the check mark for always use this app and go to Microsoft Edge and OK. And this is VBA32, and it thinks that it is CIL stupid pinvoker, whatever that is. Again, because it's only one vendor, I didn't look into any, and that's KeePass is the one that is complaining about. KeePass is her password manager. So I suspect that it's a free password manager, and again, it probably has some privacy concerns. Anything that's free is going to be, you know what, selling your information for advertising or doing whatever. And then I'm finished with that. Then go on to the next video. These are going to be very quick. I'll scrub through them. I'm talking to her on the phone, and I'm asking her to go ahead and use the computer for a while I have my recording still running, so that if she runs into a problem, and this is more of that on this video, I'm not going to scrub through that one. That's what all the rest of them are. Is more of that. She's using the computer. Those pop-ups are not coming up anymore. So that's what I consider a basic remediation. If it were in office environment, would I go deeper? You know what? For this, there are so many scam pop-ups that happen these days very often. I just tell them restart the computer, it'll be fine, because they haven't done anything. But because she's had this happening for a while and it's been persistent through a restart, that I wanted to look into it a little bit deeper. So that's what I'm calling basic virus remediation. So no alarming things here. There is quite a bit of typing here. Lawn Dog has been a very heavy contributor in interacting on point. So I'll go read through that later, but I think that's all for this video. So here's my email address if you want to send a technical question or topic you'd like me to cover. Those emails are very much welcomed. All right. I hope that was useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.